If you're considering getting online at home using 4G internet, there's probably a few different things you're having to think about when buying. Often, the most difficult of which is figuring out which network is best at your address and deciding whether you need an antenna or not and how to install it. Fortunately, there's a company called National Broadband that aims to solve all these problems for you. So today, we've reviewed their 4G internet service to see if it's worth buying, based on the download and upload speeds, customer service, value for money, and more. But before we begin, click the link in the description to the National Broadband website and fill out the form here to see if you can get their 4G internet service at your address. So National Broadband works a bit differently from the other 4G and 5G internet providers on the market. Rather than using a single network that you have to buy a contract on and lock into, they use all of the big four networks. When you buy, they'll choose the best network at your address. That'll give you the fastest, most consistent signal, and you can also change networks later. For example, if you move house, or if another network upgrades its service in your area, you can switch to them to get better speeds, without having to completely switch provider and enter into a new long-term contract. Once you buy, they'll send an engineer out to your address, who will install the router and the SIM card, and set up an external antenna to help you get the best possible signal. The antenna installation is optional if you have really good signal at your address, but from our testing with directional antennas like the one that National Broadband is using, these can be really helpful in allowing you to pick up much faster download and upload speeds. Unlimited data is included on all of their plans, and you can choose a shorter term contract if you want, which can be helpful if you need a more flexible 4G broadband solution. And there's also a 14-day money-back guarantee once you get live with National Broadband. The Wi-Fi router that National Broadband ships can vary over time, but they're working with TP-Link at the moment, and currently they're using their MR600 4G router. This is quite a good bit of kit, and TP-Link mobile broadband routers tend to perform quite well from our testing. It comes with 4 gigabit LAN ports, and is pretty small and streamlined. If you get the antenna installation, they'll plug into these antenna ports here, so you won't have these bunny ear antennas installed, making it easy to find a good place to put the router. The MR600 offers good Wi-Fi in small to medium sized houses and flats, but if you have a bigger property, rather than making you pay an extra monthly fee for a mesh Wi-Fi kit, National Broadband has recommended models you can buy that they also offer full support on. So if you do want a mesh solution with National Broadband, you do have to pay upfront for it, but honestly, we prefer this compared to having to pay an extra £5 to £10 a month to get a mesh Wi-Fi kit that your provider supports. And in case you were wondering what models they're recommending at the moment, on their 4G broadband plans, they're recommending these TP-Link Deco units, which are fairly reasonably priced and easy to set up with the TP-Link MR600 4G router. Because they can set you up with any of the big four mobile networks, the download and upload speeds you'll get with National Broadband depend a bit on what network is best at your address and how strong your signal is. They advertise a download speed of around 25 megabits per second, which is plenty for most things you want to do online, including streaming high-definition video, but on some networks, if you have good signal, you might be able to get faster speeds than this. For example, in our area, on the EE network, we normally get download speeds of up to 100 megabits per second, though we do have really good signal, and we can see the mast from our house. If we look at other customers using National Broadband's 4G service, speeds of around 30 to 40 megabits per second are pretty common, even in remote areas. And the good thing is, if you're not happy with the speeds, you can return the equipment and exit the contract within 14 days, using National Broadband's money-back guarantee. We think, given what you get with them, National Broadband offers pretty good value for money. When we're recording this, their 24-month contract costs $39.99 a month, plus £99 upfront. This upfront fee might seem a bit high, especially if this discount is ended by the time you're watching this, but most of this cost is associated with the antenna, which isn't something that most other providers are offering at the moment. 2x2 MIMO directional antennas, similar to the one that National Broadband is installing, can be quite expensive, and obviously this cost also covers installation. and getting the antenna in the right position, which is crucial to giving you the best possible 4G speeds. The monthly cost is also pretty reasonable, given that National Broadband can give you access to some networks that are often very expensive to buy from directly, like EE, which has the best 4G signal in the countryside in the UK. And unlike most other providers, there's no mid-contract price rises with this cost either. But make sure to click the link in the description to the National Broadband website to see what prices they're offering when you're watching this, and fill out the form here to see if you can get their 4G broadband service at your address. National Broadband's customer service is another strong point for them. Their support team is UK based, and they offer a closer, more personalised service compared to most of the other providers on the market. As you can see, they have really good reviews on Trustpilot because the installation process is pretty quick and easy, with knowledgeable engineers and helpful, knowledgeable support after you get online. The difference with National Broadband is they're specialists in 4G and 5G internet. That's actually all they do at the moment, and have been doing for more than 20 years. So their customer support team are pretty knowledgeable at troubleshooting any sorts of issues you might face. If you're looking to buy 4G internet, we think National Broadband is definitely worth looking at. They're really good at getting you the fastest possible 4G internet speeds at your address, partly because they install an antenna, and partly because they work with all of the big four mobile networks in the UK, allowing you to connect to whichever is best at your address. They also have helpful, knowledgeable customer support and pretty reasonable prices given the service they're delivering. So make sure to click the link in the description to the National Broadband website and fill out the form here to see if you can get their 4G internet service at your address at the moment. And if you have any questions about National Broadband or about choosing a 4G internet provider, let us know in the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.